Welcome to Neat Botany Sucharita. I'm going to start the first video by introducing photosynthesis in higher plants because the basics are very important to understand and score this chapter. So now let's begin here. So when people ask you what happens during photosynthesis in higher plants or what exactly do you mean by photosynthesis or who and all can able to perform photosynthesis, the very first thing I need to ensure here by just saying the photosynthesis is performed by, yes, the photosynthesis is going to be performed by plants. Yes, it's going to perform by the plants. The photosynthesis is also going to perform by algae. Yes, another one. So here not all the bacteria I'm going to include here. What is that? Few bacteria. Along with that, this is very important MCQ, you can just see. And also photosynthetic euglenoid, photosynthetic protistans. Yes, photosynthetic protistans. Yes, don't forget photosynthetic protistans. Yes. So now please tell me, can you please again, so tell me here who and all are able to perform the photosynthesis. Please tell me. So one, plants. Yes, photosynthesis can be performed by plants. Yes, and photosynthesis can be performed by algae. And photosynthesis is performed by few bacteria that you might have learnt in the cell chapter. Examples are, please tell me what could be the example. Please tell me, shall I? Green sulfur bacteria, purple sulfur bacteria, cyanobacteria. They are the beautiful examples for the photosynthetic bacteria and also photosynthetic protistans. So right, I'll help you to recollect some of the example for photosynthetic protistans. One is dinoflagellate. Yes, dinoflagellate. Second one is slime diatoms. I'm sorry. Another one is diatoms. And the third example here is euglenoids. These are the very important examples for the organisms who is able to perform photosynthesis. Now the next one. Next thing is what exactly you mean by the photosynthesis. So let me just tell you another point here. Listen carefully. I'll help you to make you understand this chapter. One. So by trapping the sunlight, yes, by trapping the sunlight, I'll help you to do your photosynthesis in much better way. So by trapping sunlight, yes, by trapping the sunlight. Who is able to trap the sunlight? Please tell me. Who is able to trap the sunlight? Please tell me. The sunlight is going to be trapped by photosynthetic pigments. Yes, don't forget. The sunlight is going to be trapped by photosynthetic pigments. Yes, photosynthetic pigments. Yes, photosynthetic pigments are going to trap the sunlight. And now in this case, after trapping the sunlight, so immediately what happens is you require a electron donor. Don't worry, I'm going to make this in a very simple way. You require an electron donor. Yes, I require the electron donor and I also require the inorganic carbon dioxide. Please tell me, what are the two things that you're requiring for the photosynthesis? Please tell me. One, you require, see, the very first point, sunlight need to be trapped by the photosynthetic pigments. Yes. Another one, you require an electron donor. You require the carbon dioxide. Done. Yes. The electron donor. Who could be the electron donor? Suppose if I'm talking about the higher plants. Yes, if I'm talking about the plants, the electron donor is going to be water. The electron donor is going to be water. Now this water is undergoing oxidation. Yes, this is undergoing oxidation. Listen carefully. So at the time of oxidation, so now the water is going to lose electrons, protons and oxygen. Yes, I'm just taking an example for photosynthesis in higher plants. Right. So now what happens? Immediately what happens? The electrons and protons, they are going to convert into chemical energy. One is ATP, another one is NADPH2. Yes, I'm just going to call these two bioenergy rich molecules. Yes, I'm just going to call them as chemical energy. What are you going to call them as? Chemical energy. Yes. So I hope you are understanding. So now you have got ATP, NADPH2 and oxygen. Yes, you have got some of the products, right? What are the products? Can I just underline for you? I'll do it for you. Don't worry. 1, ATP, 2, NADPH2, 3, oxygen. So which means you are going to get the three things from the water. Yes. Now I'm going to use ATP. Yes, I'm going to write everything. Don't worry. I'm just going to use ATP. Yes. So I'm going to use ATP and I'm going to use NADPH2 in order to convert the carbon dioxide into organic carbon, which is nothing but carbohydrates. Yes, carbohydrates. Yes, if I'm just talking about the plants, the carbohydrates, they are going to be stored as starch, which is nothing but amylose pectin. So let me just do this for you in a better way. So, and for this conversion, inorganic carbon into organic carbon, so you require, what are the things you're requiring? You're requiring ATP. You also requires NADPH2. Yes, you're requiring ATP and NADPH2. So again, this is going to occur in the presence of enzymes. What do you require for this reaction? You're requiring enzymes to fix inorganic carbon dioxide into organic carbon. Is this clear? So is this okay? Now go ahead. If people ask, what are the examples for the photosynthetic organisms? 1. Plants. 2. Algae. 3. Few bacteria. 4. Photosynthetic protistans. What are the examples for the photosynthetic protistans? 1. Dinoflagellates. 2. Diatoms. 3. Euglenoids. So if you want me to write few bacterial examples, I'll do it for you. Don't worry, I'll do it for you. So now you can write like this. Yes, I'm coming. One example here is cyanobacteria. 2. Purple sulfur bacteria, and 3. Green sulfur bacteria. I hope you're understanding what I'm discussing with you. So right, so this is a brief introduction for the photosynthesis. Right, another one, the light trapped by the photosynthetic pigments. The first point is, so sunlight has to be trapped by the photosynthetic pigments. Yes, so after trapping the sunlight, some electron donor is required. So here in the plant, the electron donor is water. Yes, water is the electron donor. This is another MCQ. Don't forget, please. Don't forget. What is the electron donor here? The water is the electron donor. This water is undergoing oxidation, right? And loses electrons, protons, and oxygen. Electrons, protons are going to convert into ATP and NADPH2, where you're calling it as light energy has been converted into chemical energy, right? So these two energy-rich biochemicals. So I will make a point, a note over here. So let me just call ATP and NADPH2 as energy-rich biochemicals. Energy-rich biochemicals. Yes, energy-rich biochemicals. Right. And these energy-rich biochemicals are here to convert the carbon dioxide. So environmental carbon dioxide, inorganic carbon is going to be converted into organic carbon. Yes, in the form of carbohydrates. Example is starch. So right. So for this reaction, you are requiring enzymes. Yes, you're requiring enzymes. And now this conversion, I'm not calling it as oxidation. This job, I'm going to call this one as reduction. This job, the conversion of, so right, inorganic carbon into organic carbon, what you can call here as, you can call it as reduction. So if people ask you, is this the photosynthesis, oxidation or reduction? Your answer should be, the photosynthesis is oxido-reduction reaction. Yes, so because the photosynthesis can perform both oxidation and reduction. I hope you understood. So let us just continue with the second session. Till then, enjoy.